Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Infinite Binge. This week we are talking about Stranger Things, Chapter 5, The Flea and the Acrobat. I am Jake, and who else is here?
Kevin?
And Andrew with his Fig Newmans.
I still haven't bought any.
You need to.
I keep forgetting. I remember it like I'll be going to bed and I think, oh yeah, I need to get that, and then I forget the next day. But soon.
I also keep forgetting about them.
Soon.
Well, I'm sure that's going to be a thing through the rest of the discussion of this season, and then maybe into the next one.
Going forward, the album art is just going to be a picture of Fig Newman.
Fig Newman, yeah.
But should we just jump right in?
Yeah, because things are starting to happen.
Yeah,
Some things are happening.
Strange things.
Well,
I've seen Stranger.
Oh, well, but have you?
Well, we'll see.
All right, so the episode opens up with Hopper sneaking into that research facility.
The
I guess you
DOE,
would call it. Yeah.
What's the name of it?
the Hawkins National Laboratory.
Yes, that real facility. Yep. In the
Everybody's
real
been there.
county.
Yeah, he punches his way in. He's like punching dudes in the head, taking key cards.
Much like Liam Neeson, he has acquired a certain set of skills.
It's mostly punching skills. And while he's doing that, Joyce is talking to Lonnie, about everything that's happening.
Is she crazy now?
Well,
Except she's not. It's just she's acting like it to other people that don't know what's going on.
So everyone.
Yeah, and she's tired of people telling her she's crazy.
yeah, that was. I think I said it earlier, like in the previous episode, where it's like I'm sure that she's tired of people telling her this, but it really kind of gets. This is when it becomes really kind of almost painfully obvious that she is really tired of dealing with people thinking that she's nuts.
Oh yeah.
But then, yeah, Hopper is like looking around, and in the DOE, and he finds Elle's room, which he doesn't know that it's Elle's room, but it's Elle's room
A
because
kid's room.
It's a
like,
kid's
oh,
room.
Kid's
Yes.
been here.
Yeah, there's like a drawing on the wall, and then I think at that point that's when it does like the opening sequence. But then the next thing that happens is they go through and they well, not they, but the Elle and Mike and Lucas and Dustin, and they finally start to explain exactly and figure out where Will is. So they call it the Upside Down because when she was describing where he was, it was the other side of the game board.
Yeah, she flipped the board upside down.
Ah, clever.
So, and then they talk about the Veil of Shadows, to which my note here is, thank Christ I can finally stop typing, quote unquote, wherever Will is.
Yeah.
The description of the Veil of Shadows is, the Veil of Shadows is a dimension that is a dark reflection or echo of our world. It is a place of decay and death, a plane out of phase, a place of monsters. It is right next to you, and you don't even see it.
Spoopy.
Yeah, it is. But how do you get there?
No one knows. They don't know.
You cast Shadow Walk.
Yeah, just cast Shadow
that's
Walk.
right. But they don't know how to do that for real.
I that's one of those things where they, like, I forget who asked it, but it was either Dustin, or not Dustin, but it was either Lucas or Mike. Like, well, how do you get there? And it's like, and Dustin, just matter of fact, like, you cast Shadow Walk. But they're kind of talking about it, and then Dustin says, we can't Shadow Walk, but maybe she can, kind of referring to Elle. But this whole little sequence is actually one of my favorite scenes in the entire show. So,
Kevin, before watching this show, have you heard of anyone describe it or like the Upside Down or anything like that?
Do you, like in reference to the show, or
Yeah.
like no?
Okay.
Or have you heard anyone say anything about like the Upside Down, like at all? Like not necessarily in direct reference to the show, but it's like, oh, well, we now live in the Upside Down because crazy things are happening.
I mean, not that I can think of offhand, but maybe. But probably not. Who knows?
It's impressive how you managed to say spoiler free for so long of this show.
You know how you do it?
How do you
I
do
don't
it?
know. Pure luck.
I was going to say you stay in the veil of shadows, obviously.
You watch everything else, and then you don't have time to look at spoilers. I don't know. I feel like there wasn't that much spoiler stuff I even saw going around for it. Not like, because the way I see spoilers now is memes.
Yeah.
I didn't see a lot of Stranger Things memes.
I have a
So-
Stranger Things T-shirt. It
So what does
says
it say?
Hawkins. It says Hawkins AV Club, class of 1983, or Hawkins Middle School AV Club.
Actually, the show logo on like a black T-shirt would be pretty cool. I'd maybe get that.
I don't like wearing black t-shirts. I don't like wearing
I-
black clothes like at all.
I'm fine with it as long as it's not in direct sunlight
I
and
just,
I'm moving.
yeah, I don't know. I one of those things that I have like an aversion to certain colors and certain materials. Anyway, Kevin, you want to take the next one?
Yeah. So yeah. Hopper still kind of wandering through, and he comes in the room with the portal. I guess it
The
would
hole,
be
the
hole,
rift?
the door, the thing, the
No, the thing is something else. That's
Tunnel?
That's a different movie.
a fantastic movie. But yeah, he comes to the whatever you want to call it, how to get to the upside down, and then the DOE show up and knock him out. So it was fairly short lived, but
Yeah.
he saw it.
Yeah,
He knows where it is.
but he has no clue what he's looking at.
Well, let's
This
be
one-
real. None of them do.
That's true. And they're scientists. But this scene is actually something I kind of have a problem with. Because why wouldn't they have just killed him?
That I don't know.
Because they
That also
killed
confused me.
they killed the guy at the diner because he was in proximity of L, I guess.
Yeah.
And Hopper saw the portal to another dimension.
No, he didn't just see the portal. He broke into the facility, knocked a bunch of them out, and then like goes through this whole thing. Yeah, sees the like labs where they're testing, sees L's room, and then he sees the portal, and then he just knock him out.
Well, the only thing that I can think is that if they just like kill him, then with him being the local police chief, that it's potentially going to draw unwanted scrutiny and attention.
Maybe if they don't kill him, like shoot him, kill him, but I
They
feel
could
like
have
they could
made
set
it look
up
like a drug overdose or something.
Yeah, or alcohol related thing. You know, like a drunk driving crash, maybe. You know.
He fell in the quarry.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be
It's
really
their- it's their-
convenient.
It's their go-to.
It is the go-to.
Like we know we're obviously really good at this one thing.
It is odd though. I do agree that it's weird. They're just like, well, just knock him out.
Because the plot demands it.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, then it cuts from that to Jonathan coming home, seeing his best friend, Dad.
No, that's just, oh, you mean that his dad's his best friend?
Yeah, they get along so well, but not really.
It's like they were brothers or something.
I don't know about that.
I'm joking because usually
I know.
brothers get along so well.
But yeah, so he's trying to get him out, and then his dad's just trying to force himself to stay and like kind of take control and be like, oh, that Evil Dead poster, inappropriate. So yeah, he's kind of scummy. Nobody likes him.
So then the next scene was that everyone was getting ready for the funeral, right?
Quote unquote Will.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Will stuffed animal doll. He was just filled with stuffing.
I still don't understand that.
Just wait till we tell Will that Jennifer hates.
Hayes.
Yeah, Hayes was crying at his funeral. Then you have here Will the Wise is back shooting cabbages.
Yeah, it's kind of like a flashback where Joyce
Yeah.
is remembering
Was it he had the wrong color crayon or something, so his fireballs were cabbages?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were green.
he may actually be colorblind.
Or he just didn't have the right crayon. But then Hopper wakes up at home, and now he's paranoid that the DOE is spying on him. So he tears up everything, looking for bugs, and he finds one in the light fixture up above.
I gotta be
And
honest, when I saw that, it somewhat reminded me of Enemy of the State.
Oh god, that movie is so good. I love that movie.
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
good movie.
exactly. And yeah, that is a great movie. Will Smith at his finest. But yeah, when he was tearing through all that stuff, that just popped in my head. I was like, they always know. Well, in Enemy of the State, he didn't know, but he caught on pretty quick here. And again, it's still very odd. Going back to what X said before, that they're just like, oh, let's just put him back in his house, not question him or anything.
Yeah, so then Jonathan and Nancy, they're kind of trying to figure out where this thing is. So they figure it's within about a mile radius of a specific area because they know that it was at within a mile of Will's or the buyer's house and this like where Will disappeared, the buyer's house, and then Steve's. And they kind of figure it's all within a mile radius, so they decided that they're gonna do my favorite thing. They're just gonna go turn the lights out like you do in any horror movie, and then go kill it.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
But so they're gonna do something. I don't know what these teenagers think that they're gonna do. But then repairmen show up at Hawkins Middle to look at the Heath kit, and one of the most '80s phrases was when the repair guys were looking at it, and then the principal or the vice principal or whatever says, apparently some of the less athletic types go nuts for this stuff, which is kind of really just dismissive.
Yeah, it is. He basically called everybody nerds.
Yeah, they had it coming. Nerds.
He's
Why?
like
Because they're nerds.
he's like one step away from pantsing them and like dragging them into the boys' bathroom and giving them swirlies.
Season 2.
Opening scene.
Swirlier things.
It's just him shoving them into lockers and stuff.
Yeah, you've got it bad if the principal's doing that to you.
We have the principal and the Demogorgon giving everyone wedgies.
But so the next scene is it certainly looks like a funeral in Indiana, where it's just like a lot of especially afterwards everyone gets together and it's just a lot of food, a lot of casseroles. Just we actually in my family we call funerals family reunions because that's like there's so many people who are spread all over the place. It's like the only time we all get back together.
Right.
But anyway, the boys have questions about parallel universes, so they kind of corner Mr. Clark, and they start talking to him, and he goes into some really interesting and different places, talking about the many worlds theory and all those different things. But then he gives the Flea and the Acrobat explanation. Which I kind of think is kind of neat, talking about how an acrobat is on top of a tightrope, and the acrobat can go forwards and backwards, but can't really go any other way.
Yeah, but the Flea can walk around on any side it wants.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's when he folded the sheet of paper or the paper plate and then stuck a pencil through it, saying you have to tear a hole in.
Yep. Oh, how do you get
And
from one to the other?
Yeah, and it would require a lot of energy.
Have an entire department dedicated to it.
So what was next, Kevin?
I believe it cuts to talking about a couple of hunters went missing or something, and talking about where they found Barb's car near the bus station because she ran off. So there is no.
Yeah, no one says Stades in Indiana.
What would happen to someone in Indiana if they said Stadies?
We'd look at him real freaking funny.
Would you kick him out of Indiana?
Could it be like a part of Indiana maybe says it?
No, because so like the best that I can figure is that this is in like northern or like north central Indiana. But then again, there are quarries in like down around like Bloomington, like limestone quarries. But that's still like really close to central Indiana, so it's not like there's some far off, flung off place. But it has to be like close enough to Indianapolis that you can get there pretty easily. Like, because otherwise, how would Jonathan drive there and back in a day without, it being a major thing?
Well, he does kind of seem to come and go without question.
I'm just
It
saying.
seems.
I'm just saying, like, especially with like some of the highways and stuff. Like, I get the feeling this is up near like Fort Wayne. Like, that's where I mentally put it.
Well, you've never been to the town this is in?
It's because it doesn't exist.
So you keep saying.
Pretty sure that Andrew was born there.
Yeah, maybe.
It's just blocking it out. Too many strange things happen there.
Well, they were pretty strange. It was for much of my youth. It was the case of the missing GM jobs.
Getting real now.
Yeah, it's
All right, let's get back to this fantasy show.
Yeah, so next, Lonnie was fixing the hole in the wall.
yeah.
That's like the one good thing we've seen him do on the show.
But it doesn't look like he's doing that good a job. He's just like covering the hole up.
No, it's not good at all.
Well, let's be real. He clearly doesn't have a damn clue what he'd be doing. He seems like very much a just. He kind of seems like a druggie, or just a user. Like he just uses people, so he doesn't really know how to do anything himself, kind of guy. At least that's what I get.
It appears that way, but it's kind of unclear. He could also be like a schemer.
Just scummy. He's just scummy.
Yeah. So then Mike is explaining building a gate to the upside down to L. And Dustin was paying attention to Mr. Clark, you have here.
Yeah, because he kind of he explains that it has to already exist. Why build something if it already exists? So
right, yeah. So then he was talking about the compasses and the magnetism.
Yeah, because something that required that much energy would disrupt the electromagnetic field.
Well, and they notice. Dustin notices because their compasses, none of them point true north, and that was actually a pretty funny scene where he's like, "No, see, the sun it rises here," and he's like, "So maybe the compass is broken." He's like, "Do you have any idea how a compass even works?" That was pretty good. I got a good laugh at that.
Yeah, you idiots.
So now they have a way to try and find it.
And then, kind of in the next scene, Joyce finds some like folded up piece of paper in Lonnie's stuff, and it's basically like for legal representation.
To get some money.
Yeah, so Lonnie's looking for a payday.
Scum.
Yeah, he's pretty much he's a dick. I was gonna say dick nozzle and dick bag, but whatever. He's a dick. But cut to the next scene, and Nancy's in the garage, and she's trying to kind of find something she can use to like either defend herself or attack whatever it is she thinks she's going after. The faceless man.
Yeah, so she's swinging a bat poorly.
Yeah, she cannot swing a bat to save her life.
Yeah, that's not very useful. It was a good t-ball. Like, did you guys ever have? If you guys ever like did baseball when you were younger,
I did.
Like the stand. Like
I never
to
did
practice
t-ball.
your swing.
Yeah, I did t-ball.
Yeah, so there would be like to kind of practice your swing, like just to get the form, the like stick, or not one, more than a stick, but then like you put the ball on top.
The tee,
as it were. Yes. and then you would just like practice hitting it off of that. That was a good swing for that.
That's good.
Self-protection.
That's
No.
yeah. It's a good. I'm simply making contact. But as far as like hitting something to do damage to it, but Steve shows up and he tries to play the part of a caring boyfriend.
Well, is he playing it or is he actually? Because he seems fairly sincere.
But everything up to this point indicates that he's not entirely sincere.
Maybe not entirely, but there is some sincerity to it. At least that's what I get.
Well, to this point, like the first time I was watching it, I remained unconvinced.
I don't know. Well, again, don't get me wrong. He's a douche. But
Is he, though?
there's that glimmer.
Because,
you know?
I mean, he is associated with douches. His friends are for sure.
Well, I mean, that makes you one as well, though. Douche by association. That's how it works.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
So, Kevin, what was next?
Well, let's see. Oh. So then Joyce calls Lonnie out on his scumminess. And he's gone. Get him out. Hopefully, he doesn't come back. Because I do not enjoy that man. He's a bad
jerk.
man. So, then it cuts from that to Jonathan practicing shooting at some tin cans, I believe they were. And he's pretty awful.
It's a terrible shot.
He doesn't hit like anything at all. And then, of course, they do the classic like, well, here, Nancy, you give it a shot. And it's like, first
Boom, boom,
shot,
boom.
perfect. Yeah. Well, I
Give
think
him
she
the
only
bat and give
fired
her
one
the
shot.
gun.
Yeah. It's like, you just aim and squeeze. And then, boom, dead on.
Well,
And-
he didn't hate the cans. She hated the cans.
Well, I don't know what was in him before. Maybe she doesn't like soup or SpaghettiOs. Who knows?
Was this where he was also kind of given the explanation of when his dad took him hunting?
I believe so.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Which-
want to say yes.
That kind of further highlights, like if you weren't firmly on the Lonnie is an asshole train, then
You
this
should
kind
be
of gets
then.
it. Yeah, you should.
Yeah. And then if you're still not, I don't know.
I don't
know if I want to
we're
talk
done
to you.
here.
Yeah. She's a good shot. And then cut to Hopper and sadness, calling his ex. Sad times. They always got to have some sadness in every episode.
Yeah, that's true. It seems like there's always at least one thing. Sometimes much more than one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Elle and the boys are walking along the train tracks next. Didn't we come up with a term for them?
The Goosiers, I believe.
Oh my god!
That's right. It was the Goosiers.
Thank you so much, guys.
So the Goosiers are walking along the train tracks, and then there's another Elle flashback.
Which them walking along the train tracks didn't that kind of give you like a Stand By Me vibe?
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that, but yeah, I could see that. You guys ever walk along train tracks when you were kids?
Yes.
It's fun stuff.
No, I was afraid I was going to see a dead body.
Oh,
I used to put pennies on them, and then they'd get flat.
yeah, no
It's a good time.
trains actually use the train tracks by me. So they were always just barren. Fun to walk along, though.
Oh, trains use the one that we would walk on. Okay, so Elle's flashback. She's going further than she has ever gone before. She's like in a sensory deprivation tank. And this is when it was like showing her walking, right? Like, and it was all black around her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cut to like this weirdness, yeah.
And she was going in and she was like tracking this guy who was speaking Russian.
Right. And she wanted to turn back.
And then there's this really interesting exchange between Jonathan and Nancy, where they kind of like things were going fine between them, but then like I guess they started making too many assumptions about the other, and just when things were going well, it's like they suddenly don't want to. They're sort of at odds, but they're not. But they're still working towards their common goal of finding this thing and killing it. And then cut to Hopper showing up at the buyer's residence, and he kind of does the shushing over his finger over his mouth, and then has a piece of paper that says "Don't say anything."
Yeah, I like how he's kind of turning into this crazy man, basically.
Except he's not being
He's
crazy.
not crazy, but like the way he's acting is very erratic and everything. Like
He's
that.
turned into Gene Hackman from Enemy of the State.
Or
Oh my
from
God.
The Conversation.
It's all Enemy of the State.
It's the same character, isn't it?
It could be, very well could be.
Wears the same coat.
Same city.
He does. He does.
Actually,
slick his
it's
hair
not the
back.
same city.
They both slick their hairs back. That's it. He'll need glasses soon too.
I think we're
yeah,
talking
no,
about the Gene Hackman characters from The Conversation and Enemy of the State.
Yeah. I think Kevin didn't pick up on that.
What's that?
Have you never seen The Conversation?
I have no idea.
Gene Hackman plays the same character in both Enemy of the State and that. Some say it's Enemy of the State is a sequel to The Conversation.
Oh, didn't know that.
You should go watch The Conversation.
It's all about wiretaps and listening to conversations.
I'm putting a note in my phone right now.
It's from like the 70s. It was directed by Francis Ford Coppola.
Same year as Godfather 2?
I think so, yeah.
Wait, what's the name again?
The Conversation.
Speaking of conversations, we're having one about Stranger Things.
Yeah. Speaking of which, they're back to the Googers and Elf. And they kind of... What were they, like a junkyard or something, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Or they're like, buy some junky stuff and they kind of realize, like, these compasses are kind of making us go in a circle. And then they realize, or who realizes that Elle's been kind of messing with it to point him away?
Lucas.
Lucas, because she was like wiping blood off her nose or something.
Yeah, they look at her sleeve.
Yeah, so they're getting all riled up.
Yeah, that goes back to the sensory deprivation tank in the flashback. And she sees the man she's looking for, and he's speaking Russian. And then you start hearing the growling.
Well, I think that's after Hopper tells Joyce that she was right about everything.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And then the boys are fighting, and Elle uses her power to get Lucas off of Mike. Kind of
That's
throws
right,
him back.
yeah, and then that freaks them out.
Yeah, well, he gets like knocked out.
Yeah.
Slams him into some like sheet metal or something.
Yeah, and then it goes back to the sensory deprivation tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that knocked Lucas out cold, it seemed like he was out.
Oh yeah, no, he was out.
Yeah, then after the growling, he wakes back up.
Or after the flashback.
Yeah, after the flashback, and then he wakes back up and he starts. Yeah, he's mad and he's out of there. And you can't really blame him.
No, not really. And then Elle is now gone as well.
Yep.
She is vanished.
She knows she messed up.
So then we kind of get to the last little scene, where quite a bit kind of happens in the scene. But so Nancy and Jonathan are still looking around in the woods. It's dark at this point. Nancy hears something, and they find a severely injured deer, and decide to put it out of its misery. As Jonathan is like, I'll take care of it, and as he's about to shoot it, it's kind of violently pulled away. So they kind of start to look for it. They're trying to track like the blood trail, and they can't really find anything because it's so dark. So Nancy finds something in a tree. She kind of crawls in, and on the other side, she finds herself in the upside down.
Well, and even just really quick before that, I just want to say this sequence is probably the most frustrating thing I've watched in this show so far, because it's the classic. Because she yells for Jonathan a few times, and there's no response. So she's like, "Oh, he's not around. Let me just crawl into this tree." Like, come on.
Let me get into this panel van. This man has candy.
Yeah. It's just that like classic kind of horror trope of, oh no, let me keep investigating even though everyone else around me is gone now, and I have like no way to protect myself.
Yeah, and they just saw a deer get dragged away by something. So then they instantly get separated, and then she crawls into a hole.
There was
In
kind
a
of like
tree.
this opening in a tree,
Yeah, I know, it was a hole in the tree.
but it's just like, why? How? At that point, you should be sticking to each other like you're glued together.
And how far away did he go that he can't hear his name being yelled?
Well, this is Indiana.
But it's the woods in the middle of the night. There's not like, it's a quiet area they're in.
Yeah, but it's flat. The noise doesn't bounce off of hills.
Is that true? Andrew, is that how it works out there?
Well, moving on. I don't know. It's there is like you would have to be, like in my experience, just in general, you would have to be pretty far away from someone to not be able to hear them. And
Yeah,
there's
that
no
scene-
way. There's like they would have both had to run like in a dead sprint for several minutes in opposite directions.
And then they'd still probably be able to hear each other.
And like I said,
But
that's
shouting.
it's just such a frustrating scene because you know like something's gonna happen when this kind of thing happens. And it's just like, come on. Like it's just so tropey. But anyways, back to she crawls in the hole.
Yeah, and then she's on the other side. She finds herself in the upside down. She kind of skulks around, and she sees the Demogorgon eating the deer. And that's when she's startled and drops her flashlight. And she's unable to get back to the real world. And on the other side, Jonathan searches for her, but he can't find her. And then the opening in the tree closes up. So she's stuck there.
And end episode.
It was Nocturnal Me by Echo and the Bunnymen.
Did the hole did it completely seal up, or was it like starting to close?
I believe by the end it completely sealed up.
Okay.
Or it was very close to completely sealed up.
So this is the first time we've seen the upside down, right?
Yes. Looked kind of like Silent Hill.
Yep.
Or no, we saw a little bit of it with Barb.
Oh yeah, that's right, we did.
Oh,
in the pool.
That's right, yes.
But either way, it's Silent Hill, basically.
It's someplace that you don't want to be.
A guy with a pyramid head is going to come out soon.
As you do.
Then it's going to turn out it was aliens all along.
Is that how Silent Hill ends?
I don't know.
There in the first game, there's a way you can get an ending where it's all aliens.
Oh, okay. That's kind of wild.
You got to do something very specific.
But yeah, things are getting a little strange.
Yeah.
And
they're
gonna
only going to get stranger. Yeah, so we.
I think we said that at the same time.
Yeah, I'll see if I can make it line up a little bit better. Or if it sounds like I didn't do anything, then just know that I was too lazy.
We have 3 episodes left.
Yeah, and then we're kind of counting down to the start of season 2. So we'll see what happens there.
I'm looking forward to it.
Shall we wrap up?
Yeah, I want to wrap up now. Thanks for listening. Rate us on iTunes and YouTube, and leave comments. We like reading comments. And also listen to the Geek Box and All Talk, where we talk about all the geek stuff, and manga machinations and comic conspiracy. And thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.